it's Black Rat from 287 and welcome to the channel. So today we're gonna talk about the two new heroes for the SX20. So we're gonna talk about Gustav and Henry 2. So we're gonna do a small review about the two heroes, what potential combos we can get with them, and if they are potentially be going good. So this of course is gonna be based only on my first opinion. We're gonna see, of course, obviously when we're gonna do the tests. So this is just a first view. So we're gonna start with the first hero, which is Gustav 1, and I already have this shitty bug. I don't know if you also have this. It's really annoying. Okay, so the hero don't want to open. I really have this really a lot recently, this bug. It's crazy annoying. Okay, finally. Is the record still going on? It is. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna start with our Gustav 1, which is a defense hero. So probably a front row or a middle row. And he's a footman. So let's read his skills. Aligned force. So a range of 5. 1 random friendly squad. So this is a buff for himself. When the hero is present, all enemies have an 80% chance to target the hero in their normal attacks. Every time the hero is hit by a normal attack, makes the damage the attacker deal minus 10% for 10 rounds, stackable for 5 times. Okay, there's a lot of things already. So the normal attacks, the basic attacks from the enemies have 80% chance to hit you. So it's a taunting skill. So it makes the enemy to attack you, at least for the basic attacks. So, okay. And when they're going to hit you, every time they hit you with a normal attack, he's going to deal minus 10% for 2 rounds, but it's stackable until 5. So it means that he can get minus 50% less damage. It's okay. It's okay, okay. Not bad, not crazy. When being hit by the same attacker for a total of 5 times, immediately stop the target from dealing any damage lasting till the round ends, after which damage count will start all over again. Okay, so what this means? This means that if one of the lines of the enemy, if they're gonna attack you for a total of 5 times, but this is not in the same round, right? Or it is in the same round. Or maybe for the 2 rounds. I guess it's gonna work for the 2 rounds when being hit by the same attacker for a total of 5 times. No, okay, it's not for the same round. It's in the total. So after he hits you 5 times, he's not gonna be able to do any more damage for the round. So it means that he's not gonna be able to use his skills after he's gonna hit you 5 times with his basic attacks. So logically, it's gonna be at the round 5. Because unless he have, there's a hero who's gonna make you to do twice attacks, but instead you only do 1 attack per round, 1 basic attack. So it's gonna be at the round 5. So the enemy not gonna be able to do his skills for that round. Okay, I'm not a fan. I'm clearly not a fan. I don't find this, well, the 80% chance to taunt the enemy's basic attacks, it's really interesting for a tank, but, well, the first part is good, the damage reduction is okay, but the last part I'm not a big fan, Well, let's see what we get after. So we have Uprising, Pre-Battle Skill, again, another buff for himself, Random Friendly Squad. So every time being hit by a normal attack again, so it's all based on basic attacks, normal attacks. So this is going to be very important to play against, for example, Sendiata, this hero. So it increased the hero damage by 5, stackable for 50 times in round 5, deal some damage to all enemy squads based on stackable damage. So damage rate 350% plus 30% stacked layers and suppress them for 1 round. Okay, this sounds very complicated, but actually it's not that much. I already make my calculation, so this way I don't fuck up my maths because I'm not that good. Okay, so every time he's gonna get hit by a normal attack, it's gonna increase the damage of himself by 5%. It's gonna be for 50 times. So it means that in the maximum, you're gonna get 75%. Yes, I'm not saying shit. 75%. Yeah, right? Somewhere now. So 75% into the maximum. So in round 5, when you're gonna be in round 5, you're gonna deal damage based on the stackable layer. So the damage rate is gonna be 350%. Yes, this is normal. This is not gonna move, it's gonna stay like this, and then it's gonna be plus 50% of the stackable layers. So the stackable layers are 50. So this means it's gonna do a maximum of 450%. So if we additionate to the 350%, it's gonna give a total of 800% damage for all the rounds. So it's gonna be 800% for all the single lines. So if we look at the damage are huge because you're gonna do 800 for the 3 lines. So it's a big damage. But the problem is that this can only work at round 5. So it's gonna only work 1 time. You're gonna do this damage once in the game. So if you look at the damage in the total game, it's really bad. It's really, really bad. Like, this normally can't be silenced because it's a pre-battle skill, so it's not a combat skill, so you can't silence it. So it means that you're gonna do those damage, but really, 1 round, just 1 round, 800 for all the 3 lines? Yeah, really not good. Not good. So of course also you have a suppress. You're gonna suppress them for 1 round. Okay, interesting, because you're gonna suppress the 3 lines, but the damage are really, really not great. So I'm really not fan of this skill. Really, really, I don't see the point of this. If it will work like more than just 1 round, yes, it could be very interesting, but it's not. So really not a fan. Okay, so here, nothing interesting. Resistance might, 50%, blah, 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 okay. 40% might. And last skill, the 8th skill, so very short, the description. It's a pre-battle skill, so the damage taken by the hero are minus 30%. So this is like a passive, so it's gonna be all the time. Restore some troop power each round, recovery rate 200, so 200, he's gonna heal 200% each round, and he's gonna take a minus 55% damage. 35, oh my god, I'm really tired. 35% damage, so the heal is good for a single target, it's really good, and it's gonna happen all the time for the 8th time, you're gonna have those heals, so each round. The damage reduction, it's interesting. Of course, he's going to be a tank, so that's his job. But, okay, the last skill, okay. But this skill, I'm really not a fan. The damage are really ridiculous if you look at all the game. Of course, he's a tank, so it's not his job, obviously. But there's really tanks in infantry who are really way stronger than him, I believe. Like, obviously, Arald. Arald is not really a tank, actually. It's a front row, but not really a tank. So Arald gonna be way better than him. Archer gonna be better. I think Alex gonna be better. So yeah, I don't see a big potential on this hero, to be honest. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think that he's gonna be as good as the heroes that we already have, especially for the front row, because he is gonna be a front row 100% it's going to be front row. So there's no other way that you can put him in the Legion. So he's going to be front row. But when you look at the compos in infantry, usually the front rows, the ones that are really strong, it's going to be a hero who do tons of damage, and then you have healers on the back to heal the front. But the problem is that this hero don't do a lot of damage, so you can't put healer with him. Healer not going to work very well because she's going to do healing depending the damage of the front row. But this guy not going to do a lot of damage, so he's not going to benefit a lot from healer. So not great to put him with healer. So I was trying to imagine some combos. To be honest, I'm not, I don't know, not very fan. So what I found is that obviously he's gonna need someone to heal him because he's gonna take a lot of damage. He's gonna taunt the damage, so he's gonna take a lot of damage. He needs heals. So I was seeing for him maybe Gustav in front row, Skanda in the second row because Skanda heals really a lot. So it can be interesting. And Alexander in the back row because he's gonna need damage. The thing is that you can't put a tank and two support because no one gonna be doing damage. That's gonna be a problem. So you need a damage dealer. But the problem is that infantry don't have good damage dealers at distance. The biggest damage dealers are front rows, except Alexander, who can be played in the back row. So I believe Gustav, Skanda, Alexander, maybe also Gustav, Cleopatra, Alexander, also Gustav, Alexander, Bleeding Steed can work also with Bleeding Steed. We can also put Hellfire on the middle. Bleeding Steed, Hellfire, both gonna work also. You can put them in the middle row. So the only thing I see, maybe it can work and can be interesting, is to do a mixed Legion with Gustav, Bleeding Steed, and Warhammer. This may be gonna be interesting because this Legion was working very well with Harald in the front row, also with Lohman, and Lohman didn't have great damage, so it was really a strong defensive Legion. So maybe as a defensive Legion he can be interesting with Bleeding Steed, Warhammer, but the rest, I don't think it's going to be better than the compositions that we are now in the top, like Harald compos. I don't think it's going to be better, and he also don't counter Harald because he's going to be more based against the basic attack heroes, and Harald is not the basic attack hero, so I don't think this is going to counter him or be better. So let's move on for the second hero, and we have Henry 2, which is a ranged and an archer, so probably middle or back row. What we have here, so a range of 5, targets 1 enemy squad, just 1. So it deals 260% damage against a random enemy squad for 3 or 5 times repeatedly. So this is weird because it means that you don't have any person, so it means that this skill is going to work all the time. So every round it's going to be casted, except if he is silenced or suppressed, of course, but if not, it's going to work because it's a combat skill. So 260% damage, it's not great, but the thing is that it's going to work 3 or 5 times. The problem is that we don't know what is the, what's going to define if he's going to do 3, 4, or 5 times, I guess. So this is weird. We don't know. But even if it's 3 times, it's going to do a total of 780% damage, which is good, which is really good because you don't have percent. It's going to be cast all the time, all the rounds, and maximum, if it's 5, you're going to do 1k 300% damage, which is huge. So even if it's 3 times, it's already strong. So this skill does tons of damage. Really, you guys need to understand that this is going to do tons of damage, and you don't have like a percent of 60% or something like this, means you're going to do the skill once and maybe the next run it's not a work. No, it's 100%. This is going to be cast, except of course if it's silenced. So really strong, really big damage. Now we have Repentance, pre-battle skill, big range, target 1 random enemy squad. So you're gonna gain 20% chances of fatal blow. Fatal blow, it's like a kind of mark that you're gonna put on the enemy and do more damage on him. 20%, it's really bad. Like, it's not a lot. But every time dealing damage to a target, you're gonna steal 50% might and resistance for the target until the round ends. This is huge. The 20% chance of fatal blow, not very well. It's going to be important to pair heroes with him, but this is really strong because you just need to imagine that, for example, if you do, because it's going to combine with this skill, because it's all the sources of damage who's going to steal 50%. So of course you're going to have one basic attack. So one basic attack gonna steal 50%. Then you can add Imaginate. Just Imaginate if it's gonna do 5. Just 5. So already the 5 of this skill gonna steal 250% might and resistance. Really, two more the 50% of the basic attack, it's gonna give 300%. It's gonna steal, well, it can steal 300% might and resistance. It's really big. It's gonna steal a lot to the enemy. Of course, it's gonna be for only one round, so this is a maximum that you can do. But really, 300% might and resistance, it's huge. You're going to do tons of damage on him because you're going to really steal his resistance and he's going to be doing less damage. So this skill really pairs very well with this one. So it's going to do really a great job. And imagine if you put a hero who's going to make him to attack twice. So you can add even more 50%. Like for example, if you put him with Warden, who's going to make him to do another basic attack, this is going to make him even steal more might and resistance. It's huge. It's really huge. Okay, so here the same thing. It's not very important. And the last skill we have 100% chance. Again, it's a skill who's going to be cast 100% chance, like the second skill. 100% chance to select one random enemy squad and makes the hero deal 50% damage, more damage against the squad. So you're gonna take one random squad in the enemy and you're gonna do 50% more damage. It's a little buff. Not crazy, but little buff. So the squad will be more likely to be chosen as the target of the skill and normal attacks. So this is gonna make you have more chances to hit the guy that is marked. It's not right that the chances, the amounts of the chances. So this, of course, gonna be, we're gonna see this on the tests. But if you mark this enemy, you're gonna have more chances to cast the skills and the basic attacks on him. So this is very important because actually, because this is not, you're gonna deal damage against a random enemy squad. So it means that you're gonna attack the same squad, I guess this gonna attack the same squad repeatedly. And then of course the basic attack, the thing is that the basic attack maybe not gonna eat the same target that you're gonna eat with this. So when I say 300% less might and resistance, well, it's not gonna be probably in the same target, but it's gonna be a total. You can take 50% to one squad, and then if this gonna eat another squad, you're gonna take 250% maximum if it's 5 times. But anyway, so you're gonna, it's gonna make you to have more chance. So this really, actually, the skills all combine together because this is gonna make you to have more chances to eat the same target. So this way you're gonna have more chances to take more might and more resistance from him with the 5 skill. It's a little bit complicated maybe when the way I'm explaining. I'm sorry. So the target gonna be likely more chosen as the target of skills and basic attacks. If the squad is selected in both the previous and ongoing round, this effect will be enhanced to 100%. So if the first round you mark it, for example, the front row, and the second round you mark it again the front row, you're gonna, instead of having 50% more damage, you're gonna have 1% damage. So really nice. So when I look to the skills of this hero, he is really very good. Like the skills are made to pair all together, which is really great. Which means that he don't need that much. He's not going to be that much depending on the other heroes because he already have the things very nicely set for himself. So he seems to have tons of damage, and especially this skill who's going to steal really a lot of mic and resistance, who's going to be really also very strong. So I believe that this hero going to be really a meta hero. For me, he's going to really replace Ethelfred in many combos. It seems ridiculously strong in the damage actually. So I believe this one gonna be the most interesting of the two heroes in my opinion. So let's watch a little bit what we can find as a combo. So obviously this is gonna be very good to be paired with Warden, because Warden gonna add an additional basic attack, so it's gonna be important to benefit from this. And also he's gonna buff this the chances for the fatal blow. I don't remember if it's 20 or 30 that he buffs. We can check actually pretty fast. You guys are not in a hurry. I believe that he's gonna buff 20 or 30% the 5 skill chances to be cast. So this is gonna be really interesting for him. I guess it's this skill. No. Blah, blah, blah. Exactly. So it's here on the turn 5. The skill cast chances is increased by 30%. So this is gonna be important because it's gonna make the 5 skill of Henry, instead of having only 20% chance to cast the fatal blow, it's gonna have 50% on the round 5. So this is gonna be, I think, something that we need to consider. That Warden gonna be pairing very well with Henry, in my opinion. So what I see in terms of combos, this also gonna probably pair with Ramses because Ramses have the fatal blow. So I see, for example, Warden in the front row, Ramses and Henry on the back row, or Henry in the middle. This of course can work. The both one can work. I'm gonna say like this. I write it like this. So Warden, Ramses, and Henry gonna probably work very well together because of those reasons. The Ramses for the fatal blow, especially, and Warden for what I showed you. Then we can have probably Boudica as a front row. Because obviously Boudica is the best archery front row. There's no way that there's better than her. So Boudica, Henry, and Ramses can work. What we have also, Boudica, Ragnar, and Henry, because Ragnar also works to buff the fatal blow. So this can probably combine with Henry also. So I see Boudica, Ragnar, Henry. I was thinking about Sakura. I'm not sure that this hero gonna be the style to pair with Sakura, but probably gonna work. So probably Boudica, Henry, and Sakura gonna work as well. We need to test that. What I had more in mind. Well, for archery, that's all that I see. I also see as a mixed legion probably the Hunk, Warden, and Henry. This gonna probably work also very, very well. So we'll see. We'll see how it's gonna end for those two heroes, but I believe that Henry gonna be really meta and gonna be replacing Ethelfred in archery, and probably gonna make the archery to be really, really nice. But for Gustav, I'm not a fan, clearly, but we'll see. Maybe it's gonna make me lie. The test's gonna tell you. So of course, when I have some news, I'm gonna post on the channel about those guys. But if you didn't open your chest, I think there's more chances to go for Henry, because I believe he's gonna be the one who should be the strongest. So thanks for watching the video, guys, and I see you soon for the next. Peace out.